welcome back. You're watching Power News. In the Technological Innovation segment, today we'll talk about EHV system. Over the last decade, there has been an increasing trend to reduce the number of overhead extra high voltage transmission lines and to replace them with underground EHV cables in the urban areas. This has also been the case in many European metro cities, where it was decided that for restructuring, modernization and improvement of the high voltage network and the power system, almost all overhead lines from densely populated areas would be eliminated. Further, the reliability of power supply for consumers improved as dependence on the central high voltage substation reduced. Here is an exclusive report by our correspondent.
In the last few years, the complexity of T&D network has increased. Fault levels have gone up. Hence, need for low-loss EHV network, fast-acting breakers have higher braking capacity, sensitive and discriminative static protection devices, gas-insulated switchgear, hybrid switchgear is going up, and it's taking place of conventional systems.
Now, the end consumer network is also going to have the transmission, which is the EHV network, which I am putting out as a urban transmission. So if you look at it, the impact of the cable for the distribution is very well known, but now what is going to emerge now is for the transmission, the EHV cable network is going to be emerging a lot in the coming up years, because now what all the EHV has to reach near to the consumers when the cities, with the cities, growing big way. We have to have the EHV network coming up near to the consumers. So for EHV naturally coming up, we cannot go for the overhead lines, it has to be underground cable. And this, I believe, is going to have significantly get into in India for the city's power needs.
The most notable and challenging issue the urban T&D sector is facing today is the right of way. It is the need of the hour to develop GIS substation and GHV underground cabling system for reliable power supply. When world's first GIS was launched in 1965, it slashed the size of substation by almost unbelievable 90%. The convincing compactness of the technology opened up new possibilities for better and more efficient power network, and it reduced the environmental impact of substations significantly.
If you move on to the transmission, it is multiple way. One is it's a technical compulsion now. You cannot do the overhead, so you got to go for the underground line, cables. So that way, I'm sure this has to be taken as a choice. Simultaneously, yes, it is true. It is going to reduce the losses. It is having much less impedance compared to the overhead lines. So the losses are going to be much less than what it would be. But simultaneously, it's going to pose the new challenges for us, because the MVR requirement is much different for the cables. Then the loading, unloading, how these things are going to happen, they are going to impact. But otherwise, certainly they are going to impact the latency losses in the transmission also.
EHV XLPE cables are a modern, innovative and reliable technology. It has limited and manageable environmental impact and has a comparable life cycle cost. In recent past, many progressive DISCOMs have replaced HV transmission line with underground cable in densely populated area. This helped in improving the reliability of power supply and preventing power theft, thus bringing down the AT&C's losses.
Cable industry plays an important role for the reliable supply, as well as urban network is concerned. In a extra high voltage transmission, we have bare conductors, but whereas when we come to the city, safety point of view and static load, space constraints, from that angle, the cable, definitely the industry has to play an important role, and then that requirement and the reaching the consumer, cable is the only solution instead of an overhead conductor.
New York City has no overhead since 1890s. Singapore has 100% underground power cabling. Belgium banned on overhead lines since 1992. December 1999 storms in France caused many blackouts, and new policy says at least 25% high voltage lines must be underground. As it has low maintenance cost and land use is minimized, the value of land and buildings are unaffected. But its high cost prevent utilities to opt for this in developing countries. As cost differential decreasing with time and considering the lifetime cost, EHV underground cabling system could be the right solution for urban transmission and distribution system. With this, we come to an end of this edition of Power News. Keep sending us your suggestions of Power News at zenetwork.com or call us on 011-405-60701. Do join us next week for more news and updates. Till then, goodbye and take care.